Hello folks, I hope you're doing well. We are up here at the plot and look, it's a bit of a pea super, as you'd call it. So all the mist and fog, is it misty or is it foggy? Who knows? Anybody know what the difference is between mist and fog? I could Google it, or you could leave the answer down below. But anyway, we're up here at the plot, got a few jobs to do today. I think the main one I'm going to do is in the polytunnel. The temperatures, the overnight temperatures have dropped right down here, and I mean we're down to sort of right down at the bottom of single figures, almost negative figures over the last few nights, and I can feel it. My ears are cold, it's freezing up here. The shorts have gone, I've got jeans on at last, the shorts are away, so we'll see how it goes. And just while we're passing, look, here is my one single pumpkin I have managed to grow this year, but not to worry, I'm pretty pleased with it. It's for Robbie for his Halloween, and it's pretty much the perfect size. If I can show you there, it's about the perfect size from taking around for his wee lantern thing. It's not too big, it's not too small, because if you go to the massive ones, they're too big, too heavy for the kids to carry, so no good. So it's just about the right size, which is perfect. And let me just show you this. Let's have a quick wander over here. The leeks, look at the leeks. They're looking pretty good, aren't they? It needs a little bit of tidying up in the bed, and you get some of the weeds out. Other than that, they're looking pretty good. But the polytunnel, it's looking a bit sad. It's looking a bit tired. The last of the tomatoes, the chilies are in there, so we'll get them stripped off, and we're going to get it cleared out, ready for the winter, because it's that time. The cucumbers have died. See, the temperatures have dropped right down. Cucumbers have died, and it's only a matter of time before the tomato plants are finished off on that as well. The chilies maybe is a little bit more resilient, but I just need to take the fruit off them, get the plants out, and get it done. So I'll get set up in there, and I'll be back with you in just a jiffy. And we're back in the polytunnel. I've already made just a little bit of a start, because there was one plant right here, and I thought, make a bit of a gap, help you guys see what I've actually got in here. So you can see the plants, you know, a lot of them still, it's got a bit of leaf curl on this one. It looks quite green, but, you know, the overnight temperatures, the leaves, they're just crumbling in my hand. So you can see them just falling apart now. So the plants are definitely on their way out. So there is a few tomatoes left sort of kicking about that I'm going to take off and keep. These are the blue cream ones there. That one's just not quite ripe yet. It does go a sort of slightly darker blue, and excuse me while I put them over there. But you know, it is that time of year when it's, you know, you might think it's quite sad. You know, it's come to the end of the, well and truly end of the summer into the autumn. Temperatures are way down, the weather's a bit grim, it's dark so early at night now, and it takes a while to get going in the morning. But there's something quite satisfying, I think, about when you do a job like this and you clear out the polytunnel. You know, there's been so much hard work from all the way back earlier at the start of the year. From, you know, I think the chilies back there were the very first sort of plants that I got on the go. They were the very first ones in, and then the tomatoes weren't long following that, and we all know what a disaster I had with the tomatoes. So to be able to recover and to grow, I don't know if you let me just snip these off. Grow the difficult to grow the Brad's Atomic Grape, and they've taken a bit of time to ripen. This is the sort of colour they go when they ripen. These ones down here, that one's not too bad. These ones are still green down at the bottom, but you can just see it's starting to ripen there. But I'll try and get them to ripen. There's a few tricks you hear about doing, you know, put it in a brown paper bag with a ripe banana, and apparently some chemical or something the banana gives off helps the tomatoes to ripen. So we'll definitely be keeping hold of the Brad's Atomic Grape, and there's actually loads of them on there because it was so late with me getting it going, or getting a healthy one going. There's actually quite a lot of fruit on this plant, and it'll be a shame, you know, after all that sort of, look at all them as well, all that sort of time and effort that they go to waste if they don't quite ripen. I'm not much of a green tomato chutney sort of fan kind of thing. I've never really done it before. I don't know, I've got loads of these Brads left. I might venture into, you know, the old tomato chutney production line, because I think it's quite a popular thing to do. Certainly this time of year when nothing's going to ripen anymore at this time of year. Naturally, in the polytunnel, I say we didn't have bad weather over the weekend, but today the fog is here. It's all a bit gloomy, a bit dull, a bit, you know. And let's not forget that these little, let me show you these little plastic clips, honestly, these are fab, right? You see them there? So when they hinge, that closes around the paracord that runs from the top here, around the paracord, and then that just clips around your tomato and it keeps it in place. And I've had these for about 3 years now. So remember, we just keep a hold of these. They'll go in the drawer at the back of the polytunnel and we'll use them again next year. Same with the paracord. This will just get tucked up there and it'll get used again next year. And speaking of the paracord, I thought, oh, you know, no, here we go, some gardening genius this year, right? Well, we'll have it all sorted. We'll have all the tomatoes here in this section. And I was thinking to myself when I was doing it, I was like, why last year? Why didn't I do all the tomatoes here? Because I had sort of half tomatoes here and half tomatoes on that side. And I was thinking, why didn't I do that last year? Because it makes sense. Let's have all the tomatoes next to each other. That's a great idea. So along I came, and I planted all my tomatoes up to the top there where we've got the cucumbers and the aubergine, and it all came. And then they started growing and they started getting bigger, and I was like, that's why I did it. So where we've got the ridge bar that goes across the polytunnel here and here, I've got this metal wire strung across here, and then the paracord runs down from that. And again, the ridge bar here to here on this side. And obviously I use that to support the tomatoes. So the ones here have all got canes in them, which is, I'm not a fan of using canes in the polytunnel because I just think pointy sticks, plastic, maybe is not a great combination. So yeah, a bit of a mistake, a bit of a lesson learned, something we'll look to improve on next year, that's for sure. But you know, we learn by our mistakes, isn't it? Mistakes, you're just learning faster when you're doing your mistakes. So this is all I'm pretty much doing with all these tomato plants. And I'm sure those of you who do tomatoes and things like that, you'll be familiar with the size of the root balls. Now you can see I use these halo pots, which are brilliant, by the way. I'm a big fan of the halo pot. So what I'm going to do now, just to save you listening to me waffling on about mistakes I made with the tomatoes, I'll get some more of these stripped down. We'll bring the camera down and we'll have a look at pulling these out, because these root balls are absolutely phenomenal. So I'll be back with you in just a jiffy. Right, so we're nice and down low for this one, and I hope you appreciate this hurting my knees for doing this. So this one here, what's this one? This was Sun Gold. Speaking of Sun Gold, honestly, tremendous tomato, absolutely brilliant. Probably the best when I do, I don't know, Brad's Atomic Grape. I think the taste maybe fights the Sun Gold for it, but you can see there from the label, this is one of the ones that we had to get from the garden centre because things were a bit rubbish. But one of the quick thing to mention, one of the other reasons I like sort of dripping this out at this time of year is you can see back here, there's weeds back here that I can't really get to when all the tomatoes are there and they're covered in seeds. And you know, I'm not too bothered about them being covered in seeds, because another benefit of using these halo pots is that I only water in here, so the water only goes around the plant. So the weed seeds do fall on the soil anywhere around here. They generally don't germinate. So you can see here, there's like next to no weeds in this bed. The only ones that come in are like along the edge there, where I've got the outside cover trenched in the ground, and there's probably a gap where some weeds were before I put the tunnel up. And they do keep coming back, but this time of year, getting the tomato plants out, get in the back there, get those weeds out, nice and tidy, looking all lovely in here, marvellous. So let's get rid of that, and let's just see if we can get this tomato root ball off. There you go, look at that. So it just shows you these tomatoes, when we talked about earlier in the year as well, when you say about, you know, the little hairs that appear on the tomato stems, and how they turn into, if you can get them in the ground, they'll all turn into roots. And you can just see the amount of roots there on these tomatoes is absolutely fabulous. That's the sun gold one again, which is probably why they grow so big and tall and strong, and you get great tomatoes off them. But I'm just going to do that with all these ones here, then I'll move up that end of the tunnel. But what I'll do, I'll finish off this bit of the tomatoes and we'll have a look at the chilies, because there's loads of chilies. And no, before you ask, I'm not going to taste them. So I'll switch it around and back with you in just a jiffy. So we're down here where the chili plants are, and this one here that you might not be able to see hopefully on the camera was the Carolina Reaper, and I've just been ever so carefully snipping the branches off, and I'll show you why. Because we have lots and lots and lots of these, and with them being the Carolina Reaper, let me get some more, I'm being ever so careful. Look at them, there's loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of them. Ever so careful not to touch the actual fruit, because they can have oils on them that you get on your hands, and I've got my gloves on. And the last thing you want is Carolina Reaper oil on your hands, and then you rub your eyes, or you maybe even do something worse, like going to the loo. And let's not even think about what might happen there. But that's that. I've cut that down really carefully, but I just wanted to show you very quickly before we finish off there a couple of other things that I've got over here. So this one here, let me get the label out so I remember what it was. That's a Minnesota melon. This plant is leaning over into the wrong tub because I've taken the melon out. And this one is the Kashmiri chili. Now the Kashmiri chili doesn't get fiery hot, but what they are is a delicacy. Apparently they have a lovely, lovely flavour. So that is the Kashmiri chilies, and there's a few of them that were actually taking ages to ripen, but they're actually looking pretty decent. I mean, this one's not quite ripe yet, but it'll still get used. So I'll harvest them. The hot wax, I was going to show you the hot wax. The hot wax, right? I've got loads and loads and loads of fruit on it. And I had some really early chilies off it, about 3 or 4. And since then, all the others haven't ripened. They're just sort of a greeny sort of colour. Look, this is about the most ripe one over here. And it's just turning sort of orangey kind of colour from the green. So I'm a little bit disappointed about the Hungarian hot wax, because I thought they were going to be brilliant. But not to worry. I'm going to crack on, just keep going. I'm going to get all these chilies pulled off here. I'll get all this area cleared out. I don't think I'm going to have enough time today to clear the whole polytunnel. So I've done that bit at the front with the tomatoes over there. We'll get this area all cleared out here, because a couple of jobs outside I want to get cracked and done today. But anyway, that is me done for today. Please think about liking and subscribing. Just give the video the thumbs up. Click the button thing down below, the red square thing that says subscribe, please. That would be wonderful. But yeah, that's me done for today. I'm going to head off for a cup of tea now, I think. Well, after I've done those jobs outside, then it's cup of tea time. But thank you very much for watching, folks, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.